Welcome to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire today, and we are joined by Chuck Washington. He is a member of the Board of Supervisors in Riverside County. Sir, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to speak with you about criminal justice.
Yes.
Before we talk specifically about Riverside County, what you know better than I is we are seeing a revolution in criminal justice.
Right.
We started with AB 109,
right,
which sent lower level offenders from state prisons to county jails. Then the voters passed Prop 47, which reclassified some crimes, lowering penalties. Now we have Prop 57, which provides parole guarantees.
Right.
It is a real shift.
Yes, it is. And the initiator of some of that push was prison overcrowding. All too often, I think maybe the state's response to that is, let's let the counties take care of it.
And let's talk about that, because I think it's a very important point. You know that we saw prison overcrowding reach the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right.
And the U.S. Supreme Court was very clear,
right,
saying that they thought that our state prisons were unconstitutionally overcrowded.
Right.
And so the governor, what does he do? And I'm not going to get into a match with them over that, but AB 109 passed, and his hands were tied. And so he took these lower level offenders and, like you said, sent them to county facilities.
Right.
And so that's presented challenges.
Oh, definitely, most definitely, because there was some money that came with AB 109 and that transition, but it's not enough money.
Right, and it took a while to get there.
And it took a while to get there, and so we are trying to address it. We're currently under construction of our East County Detention Center, ECDC. It's probably about a $350 million project, but we will still have, we'll still be short of jail beds. It's not going to solve the problem.
But I want to ask you, though, if we were speaking before Prop 47 passed,
yes,
that would seem intuitive. But with Prop 47 passing, we saw these mostly drug offenses get reclassified to misdemeanors. And as a result, many folks aren't even serving time in state prison, let alone county jail. So are you still feeling pressure?
Well, we are, but it brings in another problem. It brings in another challenge. Both Prop 47 and Prop 57 have turned many crimes that may have been felonies requiring jail time into misdemeanors. The unintended consequence in many cases of that are that crimes that are still fairly dangerous crimes, I believe, have changed the mindset of some individuals who might have been in a position, say, if they were facing a felony charge, would have been willing to do a trade.
And that trade was drug court?
And that trade might have been a number of things.
Rehabilitation, right.
Drug court, a reduced sentence, and now you get to go do this. But now we see, and what I hear, now I'm not out on the streets every day, but what I hear from my law enforcement folks, they're trying to keep my neighborhoods safe, is that they know it's a misdemeanor. And they know they're not going to spend any jail time.
But what's so challenging, and I read folks railing against 47 and railing against 57. The voters passed it. Can't complain to Sacramento about that.
Right.
It was a voter initiative, and they both passed overwhelmingly.
Right.
AB 109, I guess you could blame the governor if you want to. I don't know if it's worth even pointing fingers.
Right.
But the voters have been speaking very clearly. The pendulum is swinging away from lock them up, throw away the key. 3 strikes has been reformed. We don't have nonviolent offenses being your 3rd strike. So this presents tremendous challenges.
So you and I could speak for an hour on the initiative process.
Right, that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. And I used to say the initiative process is where it's at in California because our legislators weren't doing their job.
Yeah.
But now we see that Sacramento, much like D.C., is very divided at times. So I don't know that we get a better result even out of the legislature.
I want to talk about criminal justice here in Riverside County, one of the largest counties in the state, if not the nation. I understand that you, the county, hired KPMG.
Yes.
When I read that, I thought, KPMG? That's an accounting firm, but I realized they're much more than that.
Yeah.
Why did you bring on KPMG?
KPMG is an international firm, well respected, And there was a sense within the county management that if we were going to get to the bottom of at least some perceptions we were having about our criminal justice system, that we needed to bring in an outside third party to analyze that.
What they say.
So they're still processing. There's their evaluation, their studies. We meet regularly every month. There's an ad hoc committee, and the sheriff and the DA, public defender, and chief probation officer, as well as the county EO, executive officer, sits in on those meetings, and we talk about some of those findings.
But let me ask you about those members, because you have mentioned elected officials, independently elected officials, and staff.
Yeah.
And so the Board of Supervisors can't tell the sheriff what to do,
Right.
can't tell the DA what to do. I guess you kind of can tell the executive officer what to do, but I don't know, they have some independent authority as well.
No, he works for us.
But you know what I'm saying.
And those department heads in the other two departments work for him.
Right. So
but the
this
Board of
is tricky.
Supervisors controls the budget.
Right.
But I think the way we get to where we want to be has to start with dialogue. We have to act like grown-ups, right?
Right.
And we sit around the table, we discuss the challenges we're facing, and what I hope to come out of this is that we recognize that there are limited resources. I'm not going to go ask my constituents to pay more taxes. We have within our budget enough, I think, to manage our criminal justice system. We just have to think outside the box. The probation officer has said, look, if I do this, this, and this, instead of sending somebody back for 30 days because they didn't call in, well, we're going to go look for them.
Right.
We're not going to take up a jail bed for 30 days because of this, or better negotiation between the DA and the public defender, so that we can manage that problem that was pushed down from Sacramento on us. And I think we are making progress. We're going to see efficiencies gained within the Sheriff's Department that will save us money or allow us to put more deputies on the streets.
But do you feel as if you're all, and maybe I'll broaden it out a bit, but that you can all be on the same team? Because the sheriff, a sheriff will have an agenda that's different than the DA, that's different from a supervisor.
Right, right.
And so, again, not Riverside County specific, but people can get territorial, different positions, different agendas. Can we get everyone on the same page?
So I freely admit, now I've been there 2 years now.
Right.
There's a culture. And there are silos.
Right.
And we have to begin to break those down. In good times, when there was lots of money, and this occurs in the private sector.
Of course.
I spent almost 25 years flying for Delta Airlines, and I saw the ups
pilot?
and downs. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And I saw the ups and downs.
Right,
of
metaphorically
Delta Airlines.
speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
metaphorically
Yeah.
and
And
figuratively,
literally.
yeah. And there were problems, within the corporation of everybody being on the same page. Cultures get established over time. So we need to break those down. We need to really start effectively running the county like a business.
I would like for you to come back and continue this conversation,
Yeah,
because
okay.
it is an important one,
Yeah.
especially in a county as large as Riverside County.
Let me say this.
Please.
Let me say this. My background professionally,
Right.
I flew in the Navy.
Right.
I flew 25 years as an airline pilot.
Right.
I'm not here as an ideologue.
Right.
I'm here as a person that wants to get results.
And you'll tell us more about
results.
that. He is Chuck Washington, Supervisor in Riverside County. I'm Brad Pomerance, Local Edition.